Yes, we have created few cost
Production
centers. Yeah,
process.
we have created cost centers. Perfect. Okay, I think so. Shall we get started, or will
Yes,
because I don't see people here in the call.
we can start.
Okay, so we'll start now. Okay, in our previous sessions, we have seen, the GL, general ledger basic settings, right? Like chart of accounts and account groups. Of course, we have created one or two GL accounts, and after that, we jumped into controlling. Controlling, we have discussed the controlling area, basic configuration, and after that we have also seen the cost center, little of cost center, because I'm basically why we have done all these things in order to have our the basic settings in place before we start posting the transactions. Yes, we have got cost centers also, and typically you don't require profit center in order to post the transaction, since we are going by the uh, dummy system. But in the real fact, in the real environment, we need to have profit centers also. Why do we require profit centers? Because we need our financial statements at profit center level. So profit center, the basic settings of the profit center with the profit center master data is required. Without that, we cannot we should not post the transaction. Typically, we can post without profit center, but the transactions which are happening to the cost centers, we can post only expenses transactions, right? So, those expenses transaction will not hit any profit center, and when we want to see our financial statement at this profit center level, we would not be able to the details of the expenses transaction, thereby our financial statements will not show properly. So it is required in a environment, but you can consider or you can ignore the profit center accounting here in the dummy system. But anyways, let me go ahead and do that. And in cost center accounting, okay, enterprise structure not required, profits and master data. I think we have seen cost center categories, right? Define cost center groups we can create, and that's all I think we have done. Okay, perfect. So there is nothing required here at the moment. We'll see that those things later. Now coming to the profit center accounting. Profit center is nothing but a responsibility center. What do you mean by responsibility center? It is a responsibility place to create, to prepare our financial statements. Okay, to prepare our financial statements. So financial statements are prepared at the profit center level. Okay, so because of that, this place is called responsibility center. As I said, we can create our financial statements at profit center level, at business area level, company code level, and even company level at group. So it means we have four ways to do. Of course, business area is outdated. We are not going to use business area. Okay, so typically I would say three ways to consider our financial statement. One is profit center, company code, and company. And of course, we have the other option also, segment. At the segment level also, we can see our financial statement, but that we will use very rarely. As I said earlier, segments are used only when you are considering a profit center for each of the products. Okay, now so let's jump on to the profit center accounting and set controlling area. This is called it. This is there is a transaction code for this OKKS. This is one of the important transaction codes, especially in the case of testing environment. Okay, so here we may see couple of other folks working on SAP with their own controlling area. So before you before we proceed to do any configuration from the controlling area perspective, always make sure that you are in your controlling area. So the transaction code for this is OKKS, and you can see it from here. So set controlling area path is IMG controlling profit center accounting basic settings, set controlling area, just execute. Keep enter our controlling area and save it. So or else straight away you can use OKKS, which is a transaction code. Next, controlling area settings. Maintain controlling area settings. Path for this is IMG controlling profit center accounting, basic settings, controlling area settings, maintain controlling area settings, just execute. Here we have options. So from which area you want this to be activated? By default you got 215 because we have activated our controlling area from 2015. So you have this 2015. Okay. Next, standard hierarchy. Of course, here you need to select this active, active indicator. Okay, standard hierarchy. Like we have cost center hierarchy. Similarly, you can also have profit center hierarchy. So 1248 and I would say PC. I would say PC. Next, elimination of inter-business volumes. If at all you want to, if at all you have anything, if at all you have anything, just a second, give me just a minute.
रघु पॉज कर दे.
Okay, so here standard hierarchy is the one. Elimination of inter-business volumes. Do you want to eliminate certain transactions happening within the profit center? It means if I want to make some transactions between the profit center and there, if you have any profits, do you want to eliminate it? If so, you can select the same thing. And that's a one. Then profit center local currency type. Which currency do you want to use for profit center? Do you want to use controlling area currency, group currency, or profit center currency? I'll just go ahead with 20, which is nothing but controlling area currency. And what is the currency that you want to consider? Okay, for controlling, for profit center, which currency do you want to consider? You can consider either USD or you can consider something else. Right. Do you want to consider, do you want to store the transactions in the transaction currency also? It means we have a company coordinate in America, in the US. We always post transactions, most of the times we'll post our transactions in USD. But there are certain other situations where we will have to post foreign currencies as well. Like say, US SGD, Singapore dollar, or AUD, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, or euro. So do you want the transactions also to be considered to be stored the transaction currency? If so, select the same thing. It means if I post euro currency transaction, I would be able to see euro currency transaction, company code currency transaction, controlling area currency transaction, group currency transaction. I can see in these ways. If you want, you can activate, or if you don't want, you can just ignore that. Then valuation views, always it will be legal valuation. Apart from that, we have profit center valuation, group valuation. These are the other valuations we have. The valuation concept comes in parallel, transfer pricing. There we will be using, but at the moment that's fine. Just to save it. So we are activating our profit center from 2015.
So Nada,
Yes.
when you said that we activated for 2015, how about if we get to 2016? Are we going to do the same thing, or the system
No,
will,
no, it is activating from the year 2015.
and we don't have to
From
be
the,
doing it again?
yeah, it is activated from 2015.
Okay,
So we don't have to do yearly.
okay, all right. Thank you.
That's it. So maintain controlling area settings done. Now, if you see over here, there is one grayed out field. It's called dummy profit center. Okay, dummy profit center. The moment we create a dummy profit center, it updates automatically. Okay, next, activate direct postings. Set controlling parameters for actual data. Path for this is IMG controlling profit center accounting, basic settings, controlling area settings, activated direct postings, set control parameters for actual data. Just execute. Here, from which year do you want to activate? Okay, so new entries, I can say 2015. And if I select locked, it will be locked. Line item, I want to see the line item details, and I want to see the online transfers as well. It means transferring the data from other systems as well. Just to save. Yeah. Now, if you see over here, controlling area 1248 is incomplete. Why this is saying? Because dummy profit center is not created. Now, I'm just clicking on this, you will understand what happened. Now, if you see over here, controlling area 1248 is incomplete. Controlling area 1248 has not been maintained completely. You can only enter control parameters for actual postings if the following are defined for the controlling area: dummy profit center, standard hierarchy, currency type. Of course, we have maintained these two. Only the dummy profit center is not maintained. So, dummy profit center, the moment we create the dummy profit center, system will allow me to do that. System will allow me to do this. Okay. Now, define the above parameters for controlling area 1248. To do this, see controlling area and customizing for profit center. Okay, it
Why do
means
we? Sorry about. Why do we need to? Why do we need to configure domain center?
dummy profit center, right? So
Yes.
dummy profit center, yes, in order to have your profit center accounting thing in place, we need to have a dummy profit center. But as I mentioned in the document splitting, assignment of document splitting is not a mandatory. You can ignore that. We should be ignoring that. Why? Because when we start posting the transactions, and in any transactions, if the profit center is not being triggered, system will go and pick up the dummy profit center, whatever we assign in the document splitting configuration area, right? So we should not maintain. If we start maintaining that, what happens is at the month end we will have bunch of transactions in the dummy profit center, and our responsibility, to segregate all these transactions to the relevant profit sector, that is going to be a cumbersome job. That's going to be a cumbersome job, so we will not maintain that. Okay, now I'll show you one thing here. So system is not allowing me to do any transaction going forward. It will not allow me to do anything. Now what I'm going to do, I will create a new session. I'm opening another session, going into accounting, controlling, profit center accounting, master data, and if you see over here, we will be finding standard hierarchy. So change, if I select the change, what is the standard hierarchy I have created just now? 1248 underscore PC. Okay, you can create now profit center groups. Let's see that. Create profit center group. Path for this is easy access, accounting, controlling, profit center accounting, master data, profit center group, KCH1. I'm just creating one profit center group. Let's say um, segment one. I'll just mention one group. That's it. Just enter. I will say profit center group. Just saving. Now I have created here. Okay. Now there is no link to our standard hierarchy. Go back here, and if you see over here, change, still you will not be finding the same thing. Why? Because we have not mapped this to standard hierarchy 1248. And if you see over here, 1248 underscore PC, which is nothing but the standard hierarchy for profit center, which is standing on the above. So in order to have as a standard hierarchical way, just select here, select create lower level group, and just create the same thing. Segment, profit center group. Okay, it is saying as already exists. So just I'm saving it. See, group segment one already exists. So it means what I will have to do here, it is not allowing me to add here. It is not allowing me to add it over here because I have created this already. Okay, I have created this already, but it is not linked to this profit center, this thing. So we have an option, we have another option to do that. Okay, so at the moment what I will do, I'll create segment 2 and I'll just save it. We have got segment 2. Now I want to create one more. I'll just select the same thing, click on copy, and I'll just mention segment, segment 3, profit center group, I would say 3. I'm just saving now. So under hierarchy, I can see two more. Now I can see the same level here. Lower level group at the same, and do you want to do the profit center? Which how do you want? So based on that, we will have to select the relevant. Now if I want to create a profit centers under this, select the same thing and you can create the profit center. Okay, you can do the profit center. It means under this, if I create under segment 3, it automatically, I mean the profit center, whatever I'm creating under that profit center, we can find this segment, and within that segment you can see the standard hierarchy. That way this the total chain will be linked. Any questions here? There is an option to add here the existing. I'll figure that out. I'll figure that out and I'll add segment 1. We'll have to add segment 1. So there is one icon to do that. I really don't remember at the moment. Okay, that's fine. I will find it out that. Just save it back. Now I want to create, the profit centers. Create profit centers. Path for this is easy access, accounting, controlling, profit center accounting, master data, profit center, individual processing, and create profit center KE51. Just enter, create some profit centers. I would say 10,000, 1248. I don't have any existing profit center to copy. Just enter. I will say it is activated from here, or I can change the year. Profit center 1. 1. And who is the responsible person for this profit center? You can keep some name. And here you have an option to select the profit center group. The one what we have created just little while ago, we can able to see. Just select the one, and if you have the segment, you will have to select the segment. So that what happens is whenever I'm posting any documents to this profit center, it will also update not only in the profit center, it will also be up, I mean the same transaction will be updated in profit center, and as well as the segment whatever we have here. Okay, so it is showing us inactive create. Just to make this active, click on this active. Segment field is independent accounting unit, see long test. Just press enter again, it will be activated. Now it is activated. Go to profit center, change it 10,000, press enter. You can see this entire information along with the active. Of course, you can change always. You have an option to change the period. You can change from here. Change the validity period. Okay. Then apart from that, we have discussed about the cost center. Similarly, here also in the indicator, we have an option to log the profit center. Then coming to the company codes. So since we have only one company code, it is selected. But if at all you have multiple company codes in a controlling area, then all company codes, whatever the company codes we have assigned to the particular controlling area, all company codes will come into picture here. We can see all those company codes. Now, a profit center can be activated to one company code, or it can also be activated to multiple company codes. It means if I have a profit center X, I can use X, okay, I can use this X for multiple company codes. I can use this for multiple company codes. It means, suppose if I have a profit center, let's say we have company codes 1000, 2000, 3000 and 4000. Let's say we have these many four company codes under one controlling area. Now I have created a profit center 1. Okay, I have created profit center 1, and at the time of creating the profit center master data, I have selected for all these company codes. It means I can use the same profit center for all these company codes. Whenever I'm posting any transaction in 1000, I can consider PC1. Okay, I can consider PC1. Even in case of 2000, I can use PC1. I can use PC1 in the case of 3000, and also I can use in 4000, because the profit center master is activated for all these company codes. So in order to do that, you will have to select all these. It's again a business call, business decision. So how the business wants. If the business wants to activate a profit center for one company code only, then even though we have multiple company codes here, you will have to select only for the relevant company code. If the business wants the profit centers to be activated for all, then you will have to select all of them. And remember one point, at, when I'm posting a transaction, when I'm using this profit center 1, posting a transaction 1000, and in such a case, in order to see our financial statements, what we will have to do is, if I want to see 1000 profit, I mean, if I want to see profit center 1 financial statement, what I will have to do, I will have to enter profit center 1 along with company code. Company code should be given in order to see my profit center financial statements for company code 1000. If I want to see my profit center profit and loss account and balance sheet, I mean my financial statements for 2000, I will have to enter 2000. if i just if I just enter PC1 without entering any company code, it means that will take care of all the transactions of all these company codes. That's the business call. How do they want to see their reports? That's a business call. Okay, so typically from our perspective, yes, we can pull the profit and loss account balance sheet at PC1 level, or within the combination of profit center and company code. We can go in that combination as well. Now suppose if I select my profit center, if I activate the profit center across the company codes, then it's a business call to decide how do they want to see their reports. Do they want to see at profit center level or in the combination of profit center and company code level? How do they want to see? But when they want to see at company code level 1000, they would be able to see only the transactions relevant to 1000. Okay, so that's the that's the profit center activation part. Okay, so address, the profit center address, communication, all these history, who has created and all stuff. Okay, here you can see the report, of course, I mean the date range. Just save it, go to the basic data, make sure that it is active. So 10,000 profit center is ready now. I will say next one is 11,000. we are in the change profit center. So 11,000. I want to copy it from 10,000. I can copy it from 10,000. I will have every information. I just need to change the profit center. If I want to change, I can change the profit center group also. I- I'm just activating. Segment field is blank. Because of that, it is giving that information. Now I'll say 12,000. I would say 12,000. And here I will say profit center 3 and profit center, and here person responsible I'll put B, and here profit center group I'll say 2. Okay, I'm just activating. So I have got 3 profit centers. Okay, now yesterday we have created cost centers. Let's go to the cost centers, master data, cost centers, individual processing, change KS0 to, I will enter the cost center which we have created 1000, press enter, and here we have a profit center field. Just enter the relevant profit center. So what is happening here? What is happening here? It means the moment I post any transactions into this cost center, it updates not only in the cost center, but the values will also flow into this profit center, because this profit center is assigned in this cost center. Now within this profit center, if at all we have any segment, the data also gets updated in segment. It means whenever I post a transaction in cost center, it updates in cost center, it updates in the profit center assigned to it, and it also updates in the segment assigned to this profit center. Just to save it. Next. Next is 2000. So enter the relevant profit center. Okay, just to save. The next cost center 6,000. Remember one point, if you don't assign the profit center here, and if you post any transaction to the cost center, system will allow you to post the cost center, but it will not get updated in any profit center. So your financial statement will show wrong. So I'm taking up the next, which is 7,000. Perfect. Okay, and so I have maintained the profit centers in the cost centers. Now if you want to see in in the table, we can see SC16N CSKS is the cost center master data. Our controlling area is 1248, and just execute. You will find all the profit center related details. You can find all of them here. Right. Similarly, CEPC is the table for profit center. Here, if you see the controlling area 1248, and here you can see the company code also. Of course, we don't find now company code. This is not that much important company code, because we have got only one company code. right? We have got only one company code. This is not that much important because we have got only one company code. If at all you have multiple company codes, this becomes very important. If at all you have multiple company codes, then this field becomes important. So I'm just executing without entering the profit center. These are the profit centers that have been created. Okay, now let's go and see our GL master. So we are set for the entire information. We are perfect now to post our transactions. But in order to post our transactions, we need to have GL master in place. GL master in place. So let's see what all we have here in this. FS00, and we have material consumption and reserve. So we don't have expenses. Of course, this is a consumption, but it has to hit directly. Okay. Now, important one point. Just I'm going into the change icon under create bank interest. We have one field called post automatically. In the case of material related GLs, we always select post automatically. Why? What is the importance? Let me take up one example in this case. So I have a material called XYZ and I have created purchase order with 100 quantity and the price is going to be 2. So total value is 200. Right. Now this is, let us assume there is one inventory account 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 got hit with this 200, with 200. This is a GL code and this is the amount 200. Amount, unit price and quantity. So this is what we have done in our purchase order. Okay, now, so once I complete purchase order, it means purchase order, goods, receipt, and invoice. There are different steps in this. Once I complete this VIVO cycle, I would be able to see the amount of 200 in the GL, at the GL amount, at the GL account level. And if I want to see my related reports, I would be able to see 100 units, 2 amount, and 200. It means my reports and my FI reports will show the same amount. FI reports will show the same amount. Now, if I post directly a transaction into this GL, let's say 100, I'm posting a transaction directly in FI. What happens? Now my FI records show 300, whereas my records show 200, because reports will not get updated if we do any transactions in finance directly. So reports will get updated only when we have proper process. It means material order, purchase order creation, and followed by cycle, or production order followed by cycle, like in the case of consumption and all. So if you post any transactions directly in the finance, that will not get updated Now at the end of the month, we will have a lot of issues in order to reconcile both of them. That is became that becomes the toughest job at the end of the month. Okay, so to avoid that, we normally don't entertain posting of transactions directly in finance, because we don't buy materials. If you want to buy any materials, it has to come through the purchase order process only. It has to come through the purchase process only. It does not mean that we cannot post FI transactions directly, but in order to equalize, in order to reconcile quantity and value between and FI, we should not post transactions directly in FI. We should be using the purchase order cycle. Now, how can I make this restriction? So this is the place where we will have to do post automatically. The moment I say post automatically, system will not allow you to post the transactions directly in finance. It will come through the purchase cycle only. That is the meaning of it. So all material related transactions should have post automatically only selected, because we are not allowing the users to post any transactions using these types of GLs directly in finance. Okay, now if you try to, I will just tell you, I mean, so since we have selected here, now when I'm trying to post a transaction, let me show you one transaction. I'm just posting FB01. Right, FB01, I'm posting FB01 2307 2019. I'll just say SCA, and I just say 40. And what is the GL number? It is 5 lakhs. Right. If you see over here, count 5 lakhs can only post it to internally in company code 1248. Will not allow you to post the transactions directly in finance. If I remove it, it will allow you to post the transaction. Okay, let me create a GL. Let's say what is our account group range. Let's see that. General ledger, we have seen this thing already. Master data, then preparations, edit chart of accounts, define account groups. Ours is 1248 chart of accounts. Let's say I want to create some admin expenses, or I want to create something like office expenses. Let me create office expenses for 5 lakh 20. So I need to pick up the range. The range is important, 5 lakh 20,000. I will say here in this type and description, I will say it's a primary cost and revenue, and account group is going to be office expenses. If I select other than this group, system will throw up an error. And since it is an profit and loss account, it requires a profit and loss statement. Okay, I will just enter X. Now here, office stationery. Okay, then control data, balances in local currency. And when I'm scrolling down, I can see cost element category, which is 1. And I want to see my reports based on the posting date, which is my sort key. Posting date 001. And in create bank interest, I will have to consider Z004. This is for cost accounts. It means using this while posting the transaction, system expects HCO object. Selecting that, saving. Okay, next. Let me create one more GL from the bank side. Cash and bank 1,20,000 is the GL. So let me create a GL 1,20,000. I will say 1,20,000. Now here in the type and description, I will say it is a balance sheet and I'll say cash and bank and I don't require profit and loss account type and I'll say Bank of America. Okay, Bank of America. Control data, USD, I'll say local in local currency and I will say here we don't have cost element category and I just need to select the sort key. I'll say 001. Now here in the create bank interest field status going to be for banks we have separate one. Bank accounts obligatory due date. Due date is required entry in this case. Just enter here and here you can select relevant to cash flow. We have bank cash management. There is a separate module we have within the financial statement version. In such a case, we will be using planning level relevant to cash flow. Okay, and we will discuss about cash, house bank and account ID later. Just save it. Okay, I have got an expenses GL. I've got a bank GL. This is enough for me to post the transaction. Now I'm going into FB01. I'll select date and I'll say document type and I will say 40 and what is my expenses GL office stationery. So office stationery is 5,20,000. Select the same thing, enter. I will say 12,500 and I will say since it is an expenses, it requires a CO object. I'm entering a cost center since we have already created cost center and put some text over here, stationery. And what is 40, what is 50, I'll tell you later. I'm just entering 50 posting key. Okay, selecting the bank account, enter. No amount tolerance range entered for company code. It means tolerance, there is something missing in the configuration. No amount tolerance range entered for company code 1248. I think we have done it, but somehow it missed. Let's see that. Okay, going back in the financial accounting global settings for a document, we have maintained tolerance group. Define tolerance group for employees. Just execute here 1248. We have maintained here, but somehow that we lost that one. Okay, go to new entries. I'm creating only the company code 1248 and I'll say all nines, right? So I can put maximum nines. This is the line per document. This is the maximum amount that system should allow. This is per open item. And this is for what is the maximum cash discount that we want to allow. What is the amount, permitted amount? I'll say $100, $100 or 5%. An entry already exists with the same key. I think I have entered earlier the tolerance group. So double click here. We have already maintained it, but still why it is expecting. Let's go back here to the document, double click on that.
Nanda, I think we need to define tolerance for the GL account.
I think we have maintained, no?
No,
Let
GL
me,
account we have not maintained.
okay. So we will have to have 1 second. So here, no amount tolerance range entered for company code 1248. Define tolerance group for employees. This is the only one it is showing. No tolerance group is specified for company code. No tolerance group, you define the upper limit for a posting. And if you have entered the correct company code, ensure that at least one tolerance group is created for this company code, and this is also assigned to the company code. You do this in the customizing. See, and define tolerance group for employees. That's the only one it is expecting. But why I think it is required, we have already have this thing. But it should allow us to do that. Let me just do from here. So I'm just selecting the same thing. Here you have an option, define tolerance group for employees. It is taking me to the same place. Here we have 1248. I think tolerance group is to be created or what? But group is not supposed to be created compulsorily. It should not be created compulsory. If you have entered a correct company code, ensure that at least one tolerance group is created for this company code. It was not the case in the earlier versions, so probably let me just see that. I mean, I don't think it is not the right approach to consider tolerance groups, but anyways, let's see that. Okay, so I'm going here, tolerance groups, I will say 1248, just deleting this, save it. But this is not the right approach, but we may have something else. I'll figure that out. But at the moment, let's go with this. Okay, go to new entries. I'll say 1248, 1248, and I'll put some amount over here. I'm just putting some information. Let's say save it. Data saved. Now go to assign user tolerance groups, execute. I will say user best needs 1248. Execute best has already this thing. So let me change to 1248. Save. It is not the case, but somehow it is expecting. Let's do it from the beginning again. FB01, enter the details, 40, and I'll say 5,20,000, cost center, text I'm entering, posting K50, and GL for bank is 1,20,000. It is allowing. Okay, so just to simulate and save. Item category. This is what the document splitting. So as I said earlier, when you are creating any GL, the G and once the once the document splitting is active, the GL has to be maintained in the document splitting. So let me go there and maintain it over here. 5,20,000 is the GL, and 1,20,000 is also not maintained. I mean, the what do you call, the bank account is also not maintained. Let's maintain both of them. Otherwise, again, we will see the error on 1,20,000 GL. We have got only one GL maintained over here. So new entry is 5,20,000, 5,20,000. And here category, for all expenses we have a separate item category, expenses 20,000, and 1,20,000 is for bank, and for all the banks, say here, if you see customer specific, exchange rate, cash discount, revenue, expenses, fixed assets, material, withholding tax, cash account, vendor, special GL vendors, customer special customer, cash discount, company code clearing, zero balance clearing account, balance sheet accounting. So since we have the bank account, cash and bank, so I'm considering this just to save. Or else straight away you can consider balance sheet. You can consider in any ways. 1 lakh, okay, 10 is extra. Just to save it. Now let me go and post this transaction again. Okay, FB01, enter the details. 40, which is an expenses. 12,000, I'm just entering cost center, entering some text. Bank account 1,20,000, 12,500. I'll just put some text and going into document, simulate to see the journal entry, expenses and bank. So posting keys are 40 and 50. These two are the posting keys used in the case of GLs, because this is one GL, this is also another GL. So in the case of GLs, posting keys are 40 and 50 for both debit and credit. So there are two ways to see whether it is a particular item is debited or credited. First is based on the posting key, and the second is when the amount is showing as a positive sign, it is debit. When the amount is showing as a negative, it means it is a credit. Okay, so just to save it. Correct the customizing settings for ledgers for universal journal entries. So because we have maintained the 0L and the corresponding configuration is not done, then system is stopping here. Okay, so let's do this tomorrow. The ledger concept is little important topic. We will discuss that tomorrow. It will require at least 1 hour time for us. Okay, so we will continue this tomorrow. Okay, any questions from the from today's session?
No.
Okay, so customizing settings for ledgers for the universal journal. We call it as universal journal. Why we call it as universal journal, and what is the importance of ledgers, that we will see tomorrow. Okay, so thanks a lot. Thanks everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Nanda.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. Bye.